Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we will talk about the legendary and artifact weapons. Which of them should we pick in our server and use, and how to pick them depending our game style. Like some of you guys are maining pistols, longbows, greatswords, axes, short swords, reapers, and like I'm gonna talk about how to pick the sub weapons for them, the artifacts and legendaries. Okay, so starting off with what are the legendary and artifact weapons? So, legendary and artifact weapons, what we call the purple ones, are the legendaries, and the yellow ones are artifacts. And how to get them is pretty simple. You do your tier 2 rift events, you get your greater Stygian shards, and come to this trader up here and
Secrets of the
trade
old world right
with
here.
the shards, and these will give you some random weapons recipes, such as let me just buy one,
For a
buy
night.
four different. I got pretty lucky over here. You get randomized purple or yellow, and the chances for getting yellow is 20%, by the way. So you come here, or you can get it from bosses at tier 2 rifts, or you can get it from high level bosses as well, such as Adam and the other shard bosses. I don't know if these drop or not, but if they do, it's probably a low chance. So simply, you come here, you buy your weapons, it's randomized stats, randomized ability modifications for the purple weapons, and you gotta go to your home and craft them in your ancestral forge. And the yellow ones are always the same buffs, such as like the whip will always give you 10% weapon attack speed, 15 chance, and 20 damage, and crossbow will always give you 4 spell power, 10 recovery rate, and 15 chance. Like this, like the artifacts are always the same, except we have two of the slashers different. Other than that, all of the artifacts will be max stats and same stats. But purple ones will always be randomized. Okay, so how to pick your artifact weapons in the start of the server, like not the start, but in the end game of the server. So first of all, my suggestion for the game is always get a whip right after you get your main weapons artifact, because whip is so strong at the defending rates, because the burn damage will deal percentage health damage, so golems are melting so fast when you hit it with a whip, and the auto attacks are strong as well. So get a whip after your main weapon. Try to roll your main weapon, whatever you use. If you can be a pistol main, you can be a longbow main, you can be a mace only player, or whatever. So get your artifacts, then roll a whip. And other than that, actually, I do not like almost any of the stats the artifacts give. For example, like why does pistol give movement speed and max health? Why does spear give like spell cooldown recovery rate instead of crit damage? Or like slashers are giving move speed, but the other two as weapon attack speed. Who uses slashers for auto attacking? Or like spell cooldown recovery rate? It might be good in some cases, but why would you have this in slashers instead of your mage weapon, right? So uh, you can pick the artifacts with your own play style, which E you use. For example, you're a longbow main, and you made your artifact longbow, and then what weapons, what else weapons do you use? For example, if you're using X a lot, I suggest getting an X artifact, because E will deal a lot of damage. For example, if you're a Greatsword main and using this combo a lot, you might get yourself a Mace as well, like this. It depends on your build too. Like if you're using Frost Bats and like some other Frost skills, it would be good for you to pick a Mace, because Mace is evil chill. And then after you Eve the guy, you can Frost Bat to freeze him. and like do some crazy combos. So I suggest to actually get the artifacts depending on your spell setup, what you use. But whip is a must for raid defenses again. So artifacts have not too much to talk about because they are all same stats. I can only say, as I said, pick it for your own paid playstyle. I'm gonna explain something first, then I'm gonna teach or like try to give tips about how to get your purple weapons. So, first things first, I got a crossbow in my hand, right? And I auto with it. When the hit lands to a mob, like this landing phase, it doesn't matter if I have a crit chance or damage in my crossbow, physical crit chance or physical crit damage. If I can swap to a slashers, for example, when the hit lands, like check this, I'm gonna auto, then swap to spear. So it will count my spear's critical chance and critical damage. For example, do this and get a pistol. Or like throw your axe and get a greatsword on your hand. And it will count greatsword, physical critical chance and damage. So yeah, that is how this mechanic works. And now let's get starting to the purple weapons, how to pick them. It's hard to explain this, how to pick them, since there are trillions of players that are playing differently without some weapons and with some weapons. I'm gonna talk about every single each one of them. So let's go. Which weapons should you use with your main weapon? Because some people are maining weapons. For example, main pistol, main longbow, main sword, main greatsword, main axe, and main spear, such as these main whip. So what you need to use with those weapons, then I'm gonna explain how to pick the purple enchantments with them. So if you are a pistol main, what you want is Reaper Q, pistol auto, because you don't want someone to get close to you, right? Or, well, this is it actually, like you just need a Reaper with you if you're a pistol main. Get a slasher as well, so you can have an iframe at your Q when it's necessary. So try to get a Reaper and a slasher if you're a pistol main when you're starting to learn the game. And then maybe get an axe to use your E as well instead of pistol E. So if you're a spear main, spear maining is right now is pretty bad. Why is that? Because SLS made a change to how auto attack works in spear or whip Q. So if you try to hit different directions very fast, it will not hit where your cursor is. So for example, look, I auto attacked twice to here, but my cursor was here, like this. So like whip as well, like my cursor, I'm gonna just move my cursor here and try to Q. Like see, I cannot properly use the skills of these. So I do not suggest to main spear because it's just, you cannot auto attack with it properly. So even if you do, you might want to have slashers to E and Q, this combo, and then get any other range weapon. Crossbow might do, pistol might do, and swap to that weapon when you are in the range. Do not walk and get free damage. Don't get chipped. A whip, so you can E and then Q. That's pretty much it if you're spear main. Do not be a slasher main. Slasher is not a weapon to main because auto attacks of slashers will not do anything. So slasher is a sub weapon that you want to use for iframing and dealing some damage if you want to. Axe, if you're an axe main, okay, that's get a greatsword if you're an axe main, because what you want to do is after you Q with axe, you want to swap to a greatsword and then auto attack with that. Because why is that? Is Axe's auto attacks will deal 45, 45, and 55%, but like for example, greatsword is 70, 70, and 80% of your physical damage. So this will deal lots lots more damage. And let me show you some. Like if you're using a build like this, for example, you can use your auto attacks well better. So you saw the DPS. Okay, how I did it was I queued with axe, then I auto attacked twice with greatsword, then swept the reaper twice, then 3 spear autos. So why did we do this? Is because when you use your third attack with a weapon, it is longer to cast. Like the ending is, it takes longer. The third attack takes longer, but you can swap to another weapon to reset it. All right, so let's go swap to the greatsword. If you're a greatsword main, okay, your engage is this obviously, and you might want to get a mace with you because greatsword Q and mace E is a good combo. You can start pistol autoing the guy, or just walk up and do one more auto if he's close, or just dash auto to steal health. And then you can get an axe, so you can do this. Slasher to have a iframe on Q. Pretty much it. Uh, Crossbow main. Again, you might want to have this and this, and an iframe on the slasher. And then same as longbow, get your reaper Q, get your slasher Q, get your axe E. Maybe get a crossbow too to use its E, because crossbow E is helpful to push the people away at some specific times. And if you're a whip main, you simply don't need anything else but try to get a great sword. So if someone is playing on top of your head, you can swap to great sword and auto with it, or just get a this and this. And if you might ask why not Q with the whip, is whip Q deals 100% damage, Reaper Q deals 125%. Whip Q makes 1.5 seconds snare, Reaper Q makes 2.5 seconds snare. Whip Q have 10 seconds of cooldown, Reaper Q have 8 seconds of cooldown. Whip Q is 0.45 seconds cast time, Reaper Q is only 0.2 seconds. So you might want to use this instead of your Whip Q at some situations. And if you're a Mace main, alright, this is an old one. So if you're a Mace main, you might want to have an axe with you because you can do this and jump on him. And pretty much it, like Mace mains only use Mace is a solid weapon to EQ or like whatever the combo it have you might use. So let's start by how to get their attributes and the effects. So there are some must-haves and there are some you can change ones. So the must-have one is static pistol. If you are using pistol's Q, you have to have static pistol. I do not use pistol Q. I do not suggest anyone to use pistol Q. So it's actually not a must-have, but if you are using it, the static is the way to go. Spear Q, static, must-have. Slasher, dependable. Axe, I suggest condemn, but it's dependable again. Greatsword, depends. Crossbow, depends. Sword Q, must be static or condemn. I suggest static more. Reaper Q, depends. Whip Q, I suggest static, but you can pick some other too. I highly recommend static though. Depends and depends. So why do they depend? For example, you're playing a build with Frostbat and you want your Reaper Q to be chill. If it inflicts chill, you can simply stun someone. So for example, I Q'd and then Frostbat it and freeze and then do this. So you might want to get these depending on your builds. For example, when I play with Frostbat or Frost Barrier, I always go with Chill Reaper and Chill Slasher. So it depends on your spell choice, which modification to pick, except the spear static, pistol static, sword static, and this is like 80%. Pick this always static too. So how to get the attributes is you want to have weapon attack speed on the weapon you use for auto attacking, and have physical critical strike chance and power on that. So I use pistol auto, so I have this weapon attack speed, chance, and power. This will increase my DPS a lot. Again, I sometimes auto attack with spear, so I put the same on this weapon attack speed, chance, and power. I never auto with slasher, so I have physical chance, power, but I don't have attack speed, but move speed. You always want to have move speed on slashers because when you E with it, you get move speed already, and you can get an extra 6% from here too, so you'll be extra fast. For axe, I do not suggest upgrading axe at any point of your life because after you axe E, you will swap to another weapon anyway, so you will not have its crit chance or damage. But if you find a good spell axe, for example, like spell power, like this one, spell power, spell chance, and recovery, right? You can craft the axe and use it when you're using your abilities. Power the axe when you are using your abilities, so it will get its crit chance, damage, and CDR. I use my axe for tank weapon, by the way. So what this does is you want to have a weapon with both damage reduction and max health. So when you're already in spear queue, let's say you're getting spear queued, you will swap to that weapon and take less damage. I use axe for that. You can use any weapons you want that you found in the world. Like if you have a 6% damage reduction and some max health, craft that weapon and take it on your hand when you're getting comboed. For Greatsword, physical chance and power is essential. I do not auto with Greatsword, so I did not pick attack speed, but I picked weapon skin cooldown and recovery rate. So my skills are only 7 seconds cooldown instead of 8. And for crossbow, weapon attack speed is a must-have. Crit chance and crit damage is a must-have if you are hovering crossbow when you land the auto. For sword, physical chance and power is must-have. And I pick spell cooldown recovery rate on this because I do not like in normal servers I do not craft crossbow and reaper, so I will not have a spell cooldown recovery. What does this do is I simply get the sword on my hand before I use any of my skills. So it will have less cooldown. For example, this normally is 10, but when I'm holding my sword on my hand and see it's 9 seconds cooldown. So you might want to get a weapon with spell cooldown recovery rate too. With Reaper, what you simply do is Q. So you want to have your physical crit chance and damage on that, and weapon skill cooldown recovery rate I use. Mace is the same with Greatsword and Reaper. You use it for queuing. So you want to have physical crit chance and damage. At Longbow, you want to have weapon attack speed, physical crit chance and damage, because you use this weapon for auto attacking and queuing. You do not use this weapon when you're using your spells. For Whip, again, it's attack speed, chance, and power, because you auto attack with this weapon. So, TLDR, have move speed on your slashers, have at least one tank weapon so you can swap when you're getting comboed. Always have static in your spear, pistol, and short sword. Always have attack speed, physical critical strike chance, and power on the weapons you use for auto attacking. And yeah, that's simply it. Pick your extra ability modifications depending on your builds, such as Condemned Reaper or Chill Reaper. But the classic ones, if you're not like if you want to have the solid ones, Check this. Static pistol, static spear, ignite slasher, condemn axe, condemn greatsword, ignite crossbow, static sword, condemn reaper, static whip, ignite crossbow, and condemn mace. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.